Hello everyone, it's been quite a while, but welcome to a new tutorial. I got a partnership today from YouTube, so hopefully I can be doing now longer videos. Don't need to cut them up, and that was a big worry of mine, cutting videos up, but now I can do hopefully longer tutorials. And this is going to be my first one. It's going to be using a feature that some people overlook, don't even use, especially when they need dynamic lighting. It is quite handy, so I'm just going to be showing that today. So first off, let's use the elliptical marquee tool, and basically just start on a new layer and just pattern a design. As you can see, I've got my first colour, I did another circle to get the white, and I've done another one to do the black, so I'm just going to do probably two more. I think you can also hold Alt or Shift and it will make it a perfect circle. Let's get the bucket tool, change that to, change that to the blue, and now the last one will be white to finish it off. Okay, go to black, move that up, that's not technically fully white. And there we go, just something very simple, just like that. Okay, so once you've got your design, like I have, what we're going to do is, as you can see, the background is a gradient background that I've put on. Go on to my gradient, I'll show you the gradient. So it's a dark blue, and as well the light blue that I chose to be my design. As you can see, that's more up there, so I haven't put it to the top of the image, just put it a little further down when it's meeting the light and the dark. Anyway, so that's kind of already got some light in, as it's a gradient going from light to dark. That's what lighting does on an image, and at the moment this hasn't really got anything on it. I mean, yeah, you can change some brightness and contrast a little, but it won't give you too much. But I'm just gonna do a few things to start off, and then I'm going to use one of these filters that people may overlook. Anyway, so let's right click on the layer that we've just done, do blend in options. Okay, so the two we need to do, or we could do three, we need to do first an inner shadow. Click on that to change the parameters. Okay, so we want to move that in, and as you can see, it's kind of looking like one of those buttons that people can get. As you can see from the shadow going in, looks about right. Lighten up a little. There we go. Just change the size or opacity. Can change the blending mode as well. That does work quite well, but I usually keep it to multiply on the inner shadow anyway. Let's go to drop shadow now. As you can see, the drop shadow is here. You can change the angle. Click on the drop shadow name. So you can see, but it's mainly doing the whole thing, so you can always change the angle accordingly. Okay, let's change the opacity. I don't want too much, I just want it to stand out a little. There we go, something like that, about 30. I used 32 on that one. So there we go, inner shadow, drop shadow, definitely done. We can use as well a bevel. If we change the size quite a bit, soften it a little, change the depth a little, and now we need to mess around with the multiplier. So that's the bottom one, just do it so it's just starting to show, and the top one is the highlight, which is the white, as you can see on the top where the light should be coming. It should be coming from in that direction. So let's just do it so you just start seeing a bit of white, something like that. Okay, so there we go. You can always change the angle as well, and what it can do onto the image if you change the gloss contour, but just leave it like that for now. Okay, so that's nearly done. We've done the first step, and as you can see, it's standing out, and it does look like it could be on this image as a vector image. You could have vector clouds going by, and it would, they would work well together with the background image. but it still hasn't got any lighting across the middle, which is still looking very vector-ish. So what we're going to do is go on to Filter, go to Render, and go to Lighting Effects. Okay, so first one, move it along, move the point of origin, and maybe change the brightness. Okay, so this is going to only affect the button, as that's on a separate layer, which is handy. So it doesn't mess around with the background, it just acts lighting onto this image. So you can see it even shows you a preview what it will do with that in the background, but it won't touch the background because it's on a different layer, as I've stated. So you can always change the gloss to make it more shiny or more metallic, depending on what maybe item you're doing. I don't want to do too heavy, so I'll do something like a 39 using Spotlight, and then click OK. And as you can see, it's starting to give something to this image. Hopefully you can tell. If I zoom in twice, as you can see, that's very close in. And if I do edit, undo, can you see around there? Watch closely around the bottom side of the image. When I go back, there you go. So just keep messing around with it. Go back to Filter, Render, Lighting Effects. This time maybe make it a little closer. Maybe do it from the, spin it around. Let's do it from the bottom to give some glow. Something like that. So you just start seeing it's touching that image. Click OK. And that is kind of still dark, so what we're going to do again is go to Filter, Render, Lighting Effects, you see it's very bright at the moment. Got to change point of origin to up there. This is going to be very bright. There we go. Something like that will work. What we can also do is now go on to our adjustments and then change the levels of brightness and contrast. Just going to change the brightness a little, contrast a touch to around 53 and 17 on contrast. And there we go. There's our image done. There's no getting away from it. It still looks, it's still going to look vector, but it works on this background, especially if you're gonna add other things to it like textures or whatnot. It looks good, and it's a way of you can create dynamic buttons using this effect. You can also duplicate it, Gaussian blur. Mouse is going mental. Blur it quite a bit, about 4.5. Let's see what effect we can put on this. That one, lighten, blurs it a little, makes it glow, and there we go. The final image. This one is just basically the tutorial is just to show off the lighting effects that you can use with that the lighting effects render or filter. People overlook it, people don't use it, and it's very, very handy. It's not as powerful as obviously 3D lighting, but for Photoshop it has to be used when you're lighting images, I think anyway. I don't think you can do everything in the adjustments really. You can add quite a lot and you can change it a bit, but I would always use this, especially if you want to change the point of origin of any lighting on a image. Anyway, so that's a very simple, hopefully a very simple tutorial. You can always write whatever you want, change the font to, what have I got? I've got too much, to be honest. It's quite a big image this is. That's why it's kind of freezing on me. Let's change that to about 100. There you go, there's white, put that there. I'll go blending options, or the blue. Get it in a shadow, just a little, and there you go. It's just I'm just adding something else onto it, but there you go. You can create a very dynamic button, but please use the lighting options that are in Photoshop, the lighting effects. It's very handy. Anyway, more tutorials coming soon, and maybe put anything in the feedback or the comments or anything. I usually do reply on any future tutorials you would like to see. As I've got a partnership, hopefully, I've changed all the banners and stuff, and they are working, so I should be able to upload longer videos. Maybe tell me things that you'd like to see, maybe in this, maybe in 3D, 3ds Max, Mudbox, ZBrush, whatever. Peace, see you later.